Hi, hello, and welcome to the Daily Tarot Buffet brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene, Priestess of Losi. I will be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for the transiting moon into Capricorn. If you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Vertex of Abundance is a galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. You belong, so welcome home. If anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book a session, send a donation. Today we are imposing the guidance from Thought Tarot. That's by Aleister Crowley, illustrated by Lady Frida Harris, and published by US Game Systems. We'll also be using the Minor Arcana from Cosmic Coven Oracle, or Cosmic Coven Tarot, by Lisa Lazenby. She's over at Ripe Avocado. And just a little bit of housekeeping. There's an option to increase the playback speed or decrease if you wish. It's usually in the video or the audio settings, not the app or the site settings, depending on where you're listening from. There's also more resources in the show notes. Sometimes it's the About section or the description box. And just a quick prayer for all those still lost out there to illusion, delusion, confusion, lost in the seas of time, trapped or in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the splendid grace of the divine, unconditional love and universal oneness. Upon we love you, we're sorry, please forgive us. Thank you. We ask that our steps be ordered, our path be illuminated, and we found salvation and redemption in this lifetime. May we be happy, may we be whole, may we be at peace, may we receive everything we ever wanted, starting what we deserve. I hope everyone's having a great day. We're starting a new season here. The 22nd of September starts a new season for us. So I think it's for this podcast, it's the 9th season. Hi, hello, and welcome. What I know already is we got some solar energy here for Libra season. When there's any type of energy transiting the sign of Capricorn, it's a fourth house event. So for this event, it's actually a lunation, which means lunar energy. So we have increased insight and intuition into the areas of the fourth house presenting in the way of Capricorn energy. So whether it seems like it or not, Capricorn energy is methodical. It maintains leverage and it gets in there tightly and it sets up systems and foundation structures. And it's going to be according to the places where we go for a little bit of privacy, security, comfort, where we go to reflect, to recollect. It also can talk about things like the interior of the home, interior of the heart, the mother, okay, where we go for nurturing. Often even interior of the car. To me, it's like the cosmic vanity. And then, like I said, Capricorn is methodical, but it's also very much into leverage. It sets up system structure, the foundation. Okay, so we have the Queen and King of Swords clarifying the Magician, Bagetto. It's going to be a full spread here. Okay, so we have a lot to discuss here. Hoping it'd be quick, but alas, here we are. So we're heading towards conception, inception. It may be some type of nurturing and creativity. It may be some type of abundance that we're seeding according to standards and boundaries that we've been putting on. Not only are we using discernment, Queen of Swords, but we're using judgment, King of Swords. And it's mirrored by an energy that's solar. So growth, expansion, vitality, renewal, reinvigoration, enlightenment, essentially enumeration even. It seems to me like we're securing some type of autonomy, franchise, and control, purchase, really. Being able to be in a position of leverage. There's a couple of few things I'm going to clarify here. We have the Three of Wands with the Empress, and the Three of Wands is also partnering this Four of Pentacles because they're both solar energy. This Three of Wands also goes with the Queen of Swords, even though they're different suits. They're both a number three, and it's compounded here by the Empress, which is a number three. Okay, yeah, conversazioni. So this is usually when the spirit team is talking in this position here. We're being guided because we're highly less favored, chosen, and anointed. We're being put in a position where we are the portal of manifestation for the spiritual world because we're in some type of sacred union, which means we've done the work within ourselves and now spirit is vesting into the flesh. Not that it already isn't there, endowed by our birthright, but it's beginning to have what's called vestments, vesture. La Fortuna is down the road here with speranza, meaning hope. So, because of the beauty and the refinement that we've cultivated, we are going to be elevated, exalted in some kind of way. And that's what's coming down the pipe. So, no matter what's going on in the here and the now, in the recent past, and the distant past, and the near future, there will be some kind of leg up, exaltation, I'm sensing. And some of it will be a consolation prize, which means it may have terms and conditions. We may need to let go of a couple few things and secure a couple other things. Something might have not been handled until recently, and we might have had to learn, feel a little bit of loss, a little bit of, I'm hearing the word adroitness. I was going to say austerity. So what is this? Oh, Queen of Swords with the Empress. Because we have Suspiri here. So there was some longing, hoping, wishing, praying for some wounding from the past. There was some type of yearning for a little bit, for a little bit. Yeah, because we were from Chula, dealing with some type of adversarial energy, il nemico. Fanciulla doesn't always mean virgin. You know about Giovanni Fanciulla. It could mean, well, it is virgin, but doesn't mean chaste. It doesn't always mean chastity. It could also just mean inexperience. Inexperience. So there was something we had to learn, messaggero. We had to get the message, get with the flow, and also, the ace of base, I saw the sign. So I'm curious what this, and there's the message. Yeah, so we were a little bit inexperienced and we had to get the message, but we got that message. You see, Messaggeri is delivering the message, and then let that our messagee is here. So we got that message, and it came through a little bit of hoping, wishing, wanting, praying. I guess we were externalizing a personal power. We needed to yield to the truth. That's really what it was. And we learned that because mirroring this is judgment, absolute authority. A lack of a message is a message. A lack of a sign is a sign. A lack of action is an action. A lack of a decision is a decision. And so we make the best of what we got. If we get a whole bunch of lemonades, you know what? We get a whole bunch of lemons, we're gonna make that lemonade. Me personally, I love to make my lemonade with a little bit of Moroccan mint or some rose water. So we can make that, we can make that. And that's exactly what we did. We said goodbye to some old facet and phase of our life, and morte. We let it go, we let it die. Some old part of ourselves had to be sacrificed. Now, it's also telling me that something started already with this Three of Wands. It's going to happen by the weekend, which is here. So by the time the weekend is concluded, something will have already started. And we have here, yes, the Queen of Swords with the Seven of Swords, needing some type of strategy, cunning, tactic, privacy, secrecy, discretion, a little bit of self-interest, or to break out, break free. because there's some detachment here. Somebody here may have their moon in Cancer, most likely not us. It can also be in the 4th house. Somebody here may have their moon in Aquarius or the 11th house. Again, most likely not us. We may have some type of end of secrecy, privacy, discretion. We may need to share something, illuminate. I'm hearing disabuse somebody of some kind of notion. I'm hearing that song from Drake, That's the Motion. I don't know what album that's on. Okay, so I'm getting moon in Capricorn. I mean, perdón, permiso. Okay, so moon in Aquarius and Cancer. Yeah, something's gotten to the end of the line. It's just matured, a fully matured cycle. We're now at the heart of the matter. And we have the wisdom to get out of whatever malady. Amalato a morte. Amalato amore, excuse me. So not only do we have the sickness, the malady, but we have love. So we're stuck in a hard place with something of the heart or something that has a lot of growth potential. And we're going to either, you know, we got to scoot and get off the pot. I'm going to say it that way. I know it's said differently. Because something made us cry. That's very common with the Queen of Swords. She was once the Queen of Cups and she was made to cry. So it's a consolation surprise, meaning we have to go through the motions or settle. But it does derive something. It kind of takes it from the raw material and puts out a refined product, I want to say. So it can refine us a little bit with the mirroring this energy here is the feeling of defensiveness. It can also be a little bit of anxiety, however, because we have a small inversion with this swords, the 3, 5, 7, or 9 of swords can give a slight reversal to some cards here. 7 of wands in reverse typically means we've let the enemy inside the gate. There's a little bit of anxiety, fear, trepidation, and that's the truth. What I'm picking up is that there's going to be some kind of sharing of the heart, opening of the door, opening of the kimono. And listen, if it doesn't work this last few times of vulnerability, we're going to close the door permanently. I don't know where I'm getting that from. So give us a second to confirm that intuition, but we're definitely going to have to open up in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. So that might be why we're feeling defensive or we're feeling like we need to stake a claim even. We need to hold our ground. Page of Wands with the 7 of Wands. Feeling defensive, feeling. But also, I do want to say we're in a high position. We have the high ground here. Because in the future, we're going to be working with the divine. 3 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. That's working with the Eternal Kingdom, angelic assistance. And there's also divine protection here with the 7 of Wands. It's both in the clarifiers and the what's on the board here. And look, we have this 9 of Cups, which means we're going to get what we want. We're chosen, highly blessed, favored, chosen, and anointed. And we could also be dealing with a little bit of grandmother energy. Not normally with us, the ancestor version of grandma. Let's see what this defensiveness is about. Yes, Speranza. We have a high ground. We've refined and cultivated. There's a hope here. And something is hiding in broad daylight with falsita. It's not always that it's a racket or a falseness or whatever, but it's plain as day. There just needs to be a little bit of intimacy. You know, not love making, baby making, but closeness, trust, vulnerability, openness, warmth, even. And we do need to attend to matters here, but not necessarily nurturance and sustenance, but a matter of the heart. Speranza means hope. And this is something that already started to happen about a week ago. So it's here. It'll be waiting for us. We'll walk right into it. It'll come towards us, I feel. And when we have a double seven, that means alert, alarm. And the alarm and the alert is that we need to secure something. Something that we should have secured is starting to slip. And it's a soulmate union, a twin flame union. We have twin flame union here with the Four of Wands and the Temperance card. So we'll be using the Pop of Love Oracle by Vibe About It Tarot to clarify two things, because we got the matching energy from the Queen and King of Swords, which means we're in some type of, oh yeah, we're estranged from somebody that we like. It's summer, so something should be ripening, should be blossoming here. And it's gotten to the peak. It's going to start its decline pretty soon. And it doesn't have to be summer because not everybody here watching is in the northern hemisphere. But there's been a cycle of unhealed, unawakened here, and we were in the third party situation. Most likely because we were detached, because we were stoic, because we were difficult to read, we might have made somebody feel a little inadequate, unseen, unwanted. Here it says, I made you feel inadequate because I chose somebody else over you. I regret the pain I have caused you due to my selfishness and my physical needs. You didn't deserve being treated as an option. That's what somebody would be saying to us, but it's saying that that's our narrative. And I do believe we made somebody feel unwanted or unseen because we were just detached. I'm not getting that we were in another connection. If we are, we're already estranged from this person. King and Queen of Swords are committed to opposition. They're committed to opposing each other. Unless they're rulers of a nation, some type of duo that requires some type of specialized technical knowledge, technical skills. Main character or the side piece, another person got in the way of the relationship, feels betrayed, and is second guessing self worth. So that one might be us because it says that this other party we're connected to is unhealed, unawakened. And their narrative is I am fearful of letting go with what I have and what I know. What you are asking of me is impossible and makes me feel extremely uncomfortable. That's their narrative. Now, what's going on in the higher world is I do not know what I did to push you away. Was it something I did? Was it something I said? You told me you love me and you've never felt this way before. Then why did you leave? Together, we're going through cycles. Some are dysfunctional, unstable, hurtful, toxic, maybe the same scenario keeps occurring, reoccurring, but unable to learn the necessary lessons. It's predictable, ultimately repetitive cycle of breaking up and getting back together again. Some abstract version of that won't apply to us all. And again, I repeat, not all of us are in the Northern Hemisphere for summer, so it could also just be an archetype or be the dates between June 21st and August 5th. Might have been when the maturation of this cycle hit, probably when we were supposed to make something of this. But see, it's starting to run out with this 21st of September just leaving. And then the archetype of summer is when things get to the pinnacle and they start to decline. Not always for the worst or the bad, or just that it's gotten as good as it's going to get. When we saw La Vecchia Signora in the clarifiers, that was true. Okay, and that was the King and Queen of Swords. Let's check on this Four of Wands with the Temperance, because that's a twin flame union. Okay, the House of the Four comes to the door, and it's the same card came back out. So Unawakened came out again. Fearful of losing their old life, feels something is missing, but in denial, physically blocking and ignoring the connection. We have Aries here, destiny, and ghosted. So the other side is feeling ghosted. But at one time we felt ghosted. I'm sorry I had to run, but I couldn't tell you how I felt because I do not even know how I feel. It was easier for me to walk away instead of having to explain myself. I'm understanding destiny. I'm understanding our relationship and our connection. What I once thought was trivial was something more on a higher consciousness. I could not understand it then, but I do now. Spiritual practice. Okay, so the other side is still an awakened, but they're learning because it says here they were impulsive, irrational, and selfish. They pushed the connection to the breaking point, and they're sorry for causing so much conflict. Okay, so we're getting layered meanings here. They're really growing, but it still says unhealed, unawakened. And it's these cycles that keep returning. So for some reason, we feel ghosted, but they're realizing that we're destiny and that they overreacted or missed, you know, something. Okay, so yeah, it looked like they detached, but that was just a fake out. Now I got it. That wasn't true. Whatever it looked like breaking up, or it wasn't quite a breakup, but it was some kind of cooling off or letting go or hanging back, something of that nature. We got a little tiny bit more content here. Yeah, it says help, victim mentality. So we felt stuck with a negative attitude. That's also why we detached because it wasn't clear. Okay. That just seemed like we didn't have a lot of franchise purchase and control, but that's not quite true with this Three of Wands. The Three of Wands was mirrored by, oh, the King of Swords. So there wasn't any discernment and clarity. We didn't quite know what it was. And so we let it go, but it didn't die. So it better come back around again. All right, so that was a lot of clarification. We still got a little bit more. Okay. So King and Queen of Swords. So there was some kind of fake out believing that somebody else got in a connection, but it wasn't a real one. And we've been the genuine article this whole time. And the intention was for this other side to contain themselves. They did also want a creative new beginning because they felt wounded in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. Okay, and I'm starting to get some downloads here. That's why I told you you can speed it up or slow it down if you want, because sometimes when I go silent, it's because there's a download coming in. So there is something here that's a little bit not as it seems, and it's intentional. It's an imposter. So they're coming back to see if there's any back burner that can come off the back burner. They know things have cooled down, but they're seeing if they can get hot again, warm up, thaw out, to see if there's any possibility for a creative new beginning. There is, but somebody here is hiding. And honestly, it said that we need to share something, but I'm not detecting that we're hiding because we keep getting cards that bring us into alignment with karma. And this other side keeps getting cards where they have to kind of rise to the occasion. So when we have the temperance and the judgment card, it typically means like following orders, but like from on high. La matrice, the person who hides their affection. Yeah, because somebody comes back because they're in crisis, domestico with disgrazia. They may have left out in disgrace, and now they're coming back because they've done some thinking to see, like, hey, this is what I want in my life. Are you there to give me that? And Meneo with pensiero. They discover something about the situation or themselves that now they want to talk about, is what I'm getting. And it's they've been thinking for the last 2 weeks. So have we. We might have gotten the alert 2 weeks ago. And now we have a triple nine. Oh my gosh. Triple nine means forced isolation. So we had to take a little bit of space. And we are an angel intuitive. So their spirit team is communicating to us. Because there was a change of reputation. How we were seen has shifted and changed. It's come into alignment with the justice card here. Let's check. Ooh. Okay, so this pair of nines came out with a multitudinous message. The first thing to know is that there is a karmic cycle here, Ten of Wands, to learn how to come from the heart, Nine of Cups. And essentially, it could be some type of forgiveness granted or asked for with the Knight of Cups or something of that nature. Because Knight of Cups, Nine of Cups, that's desiring contentment. But we also have the Five of Swords here with the Seven of Wands, which means defensiveness and being selfish, of self-interest, lose-lose situation, a little bit of love-hate, a little bit of bitterness. Essentially, if it's in the reverse, it means laying down arms, burying the hatchet. And that's what this three triple nines is about. When there's a triple nine in a reading, it means forced isolation. Yes, okay, we know about the cycles and all of that, and la di da, and yada yada, so on and so forth, and whatever, what have you, and the ABC of the TUV and the EFG of the XYZ. I get it. I get it. I get it. It also means forced isolation. A triple nine means forced isolation. So we were separated by the divine here because there's a covering on our life. We're doing right with the Nine of Cups. They're acting kind of sideways, not sneaky and seditious, although is what came out first. They had some kind of venom in them. Five of Swords. Something was in their heart that was a little nasty. They really were. Something was not going well on their side, and it was turning their heart dirty. And I'm sorry to say, my dear, but that's the truth. Okay, Ace of Swords. When we pulled on the Five of Swords, the Ace of Swords came out. So whatever I said, they were ruminating, oscillating, vacillating in hate, marinating in venom. That's what I'm saying. I honestly am detecting that they were acting performatively to make us feel some kind of way, which meant they needed to get on the up and mature just a little bit. Now, this is going to really show itself around the Aries full moon, which is coming up, I believe, around the 7th, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. Could be the 5th or 6th, but the 7th of October, the October. And we have this heart opening up here or a gate opening up as well. So there could be very much an offer of love or connection is restored or some type of blessing of a spiritual gift is opening up here. La Vecchia Senora again. So the cycle completes, or there's some type of wise wisdom here. We could be loving, caring, compassionate, and kind towards them. Disgrazia on our side with La Vecchia Senora. So we finally see what the solution is because parties come back to the table here. Now, we also have a little bit of moon energy, but it's coming out in multiple ways. So the Nine of Cups and the Moon card can say somebody might have their Jupiter in Pisces or the 12th house. Yeah, here's that La Superbia, that peacocking and performative Okay, so somebody is going to come through and say, listen, I've had these feelings for quite a while. This is love, but when something's going through the fourth house, it's not normally love. You haven't left the house. So what that means is there's an opening of the heart and we let somebody in our warm and fuzzy place. We let somebody in our soft and tender place. Or somebody does that for us. Okay? Because normally the fifth house and the seventh house are when we really, 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 and I had to dramatize that. It's exceptionally common to see love and union in the fifth and the seventh house. So during the Aquarius moon and the Aries moon, transiting moon, so at the full moon and during the Aquarius transiting moon, we'll hear more about dating and partnership. However, if during the fifth and seventh house is talked about, it could also be really illuminated during the first house, which happened. We did hear the inverse side during the first house of what was going on for this other person. So if you go back a couple few days, it'll be a couple of episodes before this. So are we? I don't know what episode we're on. Let me pause. Okay, so episode 362 of the Tarot Buffet would have given us information on the opposite side of this connection. Now, honestly, that was what was going on for ourselves. But whatever experience prompted this, okay. So episode 362 would have been the Libra transiting moon. It was also the new moon season time, and it would have been the dates of the 21st through 24th. There's a link in the show notes. And, we returned after like a 2 month hiatus. So in that link, it might not have episode in there, but that link will give a link to the YouTube playlist. And the YouTube playlist will definitely have that video on there. It's also on Spotify. We're also a podcast, so you could always listen if you want to. But it came back again because what we're getting is that somebody here has been very demure with the love that they're feeling. La matrice amore. Somebody's hiding their affection, and they're going to come back and say it because we're finally seen as this dutiful something. We're getting karmic justice, and something is going to manifest out of the latent energy, that kind of like what's hidden, what's lurking beneath the surface. This Nine of Cups moon card, because there's been hidden agendas, ulterior motives, maybe even hidden enemies for some time, and that's going to be ending soon. And for sure, a lot's going to be happening the couple few days after the full moon, which is in Aries. And there's healing happening. Because there's a new destiny or a restored destiny with the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune. And we have the Ten of Cups, Queen of Cups, which means needing fulfillment. Before we had the Knight of Cups and the Nine of Cups, which meant desiring contentment. When the Nine of Cups turns into the Ten of Cups, it goes from contentment to fulfillment. And when the Knight of Cups goes to the Queen of Cups, we go from desiring to needing. So we go from desiring contentment to needing fulfillment. Queen of Cups, Ten of Cups. It's mirrored by the Ace of Wands, Two of Wands. So that could be sassy time. I'm just going to say. L'accesso, bed pleasures, coitus copulation. Okay? I'm just saying. But also it means a creative new beginning, a passionate new beginning. Okay? Because we have some kind of new destiny here. There's new justice as well, unless there's an outlaw. So if we've been treated misfairly, that's going to turn around. And honestly, there's affiliated systems here. So if a lot of things have been hidden and it's been hidden and connected, multiple things have gone towards the mislabeling, misjudging, misperceiving, mistaking, misusing, mistreating, that'll turn around suddenly as well. I have a feeling like there's going to be a dawning epiphany on the side that's mirroring us. And it's already started by the weekend. Yeah, because Knight of Swords, Five of Swords. That's desiring to bury the hatchet, to purge any false light, to set the record straight. It can also be we don't have a lot of spoons for anything not in alignment. So we don't have a lot to give if it's, mislabeled, misjudged, misperceived. We're going to quickly disabuse anybody of a notion or just walk away, not wanting to. The only thing I could say about this is we're not going to want to perpetuate any type of mistreatment, any type of lack of respect. We're going to have our standards and boundaries about us. And with great ease, we're going to kind of hold those standards and boundaries. But also, we're desiring to bury the hatchet. If there's any type of opportunity to seize or even exploit here, we will do that. But just through us showing up, it dispel a lot of false light, a lot of misnomers here. And with the King of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, there's a wanting to lay groundwork or wanting to set something up or wanting to invest properly. Because if we are to walk away, we should know what we're walking away from or to know what we've done well. And since we spent some time alone, forced isolation, forced separation, there's new wisdom here from being in seclusion, from going inside. We're also learning transcendental principles here. And there's a timeline restoration. So if this other side erred on the side of a mistake, not the opposite of caution, if they were reckless or uh, chose poorly, behaved poorly, that will be reconciled here. And within a week, it's within a week. Yeah, because there was some type of passive aggression here. I'm just gonna say. So they're healing from crisis now, or they're in survival mode because we've gone inward and sat with God. We spent a lot of time alone, La Stanza. We went where it was safe, where it was comfortable, where we could hear our thoughts and discuss things in our own mind process, essentially. Yeah, and very suddenly we're gonna see that this other side mirroring us, whatever it is, this could be our future self, but our future self would not be more upset. This is another person, unfortunately. Whatever this is, where our heart space is, there's it's a turn of events that leads to melancholia. There's going to be a lot of grief expressed to us of what happened in our absence when we took our energy back, essentially. there was some rule, regulation, restriction that we imposed on the situation. We left, withdrew our energy because we were second guessing, or we were wrangled down and restrained in some kind of way that didn't need to be. We were left hanging, Eight of Swords with the Hangman, so we just left. And there's a pair of aces here, which means that's a new union. Yeah, again, a forgiveness is coming, or offer of love. Somebody is ready to make a commitment to us here. King of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. We're going to be receiving some type of offer of commitment. Nine of Swords, Six of Wands. There's distress on both sides, but if we go through the trial, we'll make it out all right. This cycle that we've been through helped the other party, if there is another party, mature in some kind of way. It gave them, well, put them in separation, and it gave us self-love here. So I've been working on my self-worth, and I am recognizing the issues that have been holding me back. I'm trying to heal myself by loving myself first. They went through some type of spiritual practice and recognized something. Okay. Because it says here, I don't know what you want from me. I love you, but I cannot give you what you need. I don't have the time or the capacity to understand our connection. It is best to leave it alone. Okay. You do you. Peace and blessings. Okay, but when we separated, they realized that it was just an age difference. We had an instant connection, a difference in age, but maturity level was almost the same, similar upbringing or dating history. This other side was ambitious, driven. And I don't know how patient they were, but it's Capricorn and we're here in the Capricorn moon. So some other adjectives here are team player, hardworking. Some of the shadow here is pessimistic, rigid, cheap, stubborn, prideful, dismissive, work obsessed, greedy. But I detect here there was some passive aggressiveness. But there's an agreement from the divine, and they went through a karmic lesson, and we're actually ready to bury the hatchet. But something touched the covering on our life, and Great Spirit, the universe, the divine, put us on a timeout, really for our protection and their lesson. Okay, so now they're wanting to contest because a lot of work went into this and it didn't go anywhere because the assumptions were incorrect. There's some type of untangling that's happening because there was triangulation. We were the ones that were in a third party, meaning there was another person involved that made us no longer the main person. And they took on a burden. So that was the wrong move for them. They basically traveled to purgatory and got tested and cleansed and purified. And it was not only a karmic cycle, but a karmic lesson, 5 of wands, 10 of wands. Let's clarify that. With the chariot, they literally traveled to Purgatorio. Yeah, and this came out face down. Yeah, militare. So they doing something thinking that they were strategic, but they were doing too much. Yeah, it was the wrong choice. They mistook something to think that we were a hostile energy, or we hurt them, they had some kind of resentment. So they went in a different direction because it said that there was some kind of trauma. They were convalescent. They had to resuscitate, recuperate. There was some type of rupture in the heart. Okay. But la alegría, instead of allegrezza al cuore, it was alegría. So instead of going with the real love, they went with something kind of petty or contrivial because they didn't know how to navigate our energy, is what I'm detecting, which meant there was a lack of authenticity, genuineness, sincerity. If you don't know how to talk to the person, just try to connect with them. Hey, here's what I want. Here's what I'm about. Here's why I'm talking to you. Here's my objective. Here's my mission. Here's my intention. All that other stuff, that strategy, that tactic, that agenda, that modus operandi, that'll get you twisted. Especially when you double down, you triple down because you get confused and you get scared. You have your little one-track mind. If you're worried about what another person's saying, then, if you're worried about what another person will say, that means you have an agenda. So something's coming back down the road. Something's coming, viaja, something's traveling towards us. And it's immaneo, because what we didn't realize is that we were always going to be unified if we could get authentic with each other. This is weird that we're having a love reading during the fourth house, which is actually saying that we need to open up our heart, or somebody's going to do that to us. And something's going to be happening around the Scorpio new moon. Some energy is going to get repelled. And if there is a third party, that third party actually, excuse me, I'm so sorry, but around the Scorpio new moon, if there's a third party still around, they're going to get danda. Spirit's going to impose some type of, yeah. I'm honestly getting that it's a beard. Like, okay, well, there's that, whatever I just said. But it's a sham, like it's a straw man relationship. They're stuck there for whatever reason. I don't know why. And that this is something that we're carrying with us. We have to nurture it. I don't know why. Some kind of crucial information is going to come in where we can make an agreement. This is a pair that usually means um, a pact or something. But love is covered the three of swords. That's triangulation. Okay, so we have a pair of threes here. That's cooperation, collaboration, co-creation. Knight of Cups with the Three of Cups means desiring, testimony, witness, connection. Knight of Pentacles with the Three of Pentacles means desiring collaboration. So somebody's going to come out and, yeah, want to work this out. It's always been I don't like what I'm getting. It just feels awful. It's sucky is the word. So this is said a couple times, like we're attending to the situation, we're nurturing the situation, but it also is calling us a third party, and it's also saying that we've been disrespected a few times, and that even God had to, or excuse me, spirit or the divine or whatever spiritual technology we interface with had to sit us down and kind of set us aside. So it might be a spiritual assignment, but if it's a spiritual assignment, we're getting rewarded in some kind of way. And it's not telling us that we need to heal them. It actually called them a healer because we know what we say for light workers. If we're called to heal somebody, we don't need to engage with them in a romantic relationship, at least not for a year or two, a couple, few years. This is also saying that they're going through an ego death, morte, okay? That there's going to be some kind of transition that on the precipice of this situation, on the periphery, excuse me, on the periphery of this situation is been this long drawn out melancholia, a series of setbacks and disappointments, delays and disruptions, melancholia. And it's lo costanza, so it's always been like that, but it's also always been steady and sturdy and always going to return because there's casa at the precipice of everything is casa, which means there's the heart of the matter and it's a fortress. So it's there's a something rich about the situation and that, but again, it's saying that for us it's a duty, which I don't know why love is a duty. Now I get it when you're working on a relationship and you've made a commitment or whatever, but the only time we ever matched up was to say that we were united in conflict. So you see how that's problematic. Now let's clarify this pentacles. So we got the same exact cards in two suits. We got the Knight of Cups with the Three of Cups. We got the Knight of Pentacles with the Three of Pentacles. So this other side is they need to open their kimono, sacerdote. There's many movements behind the scenes. There's some type of obfuscation. It's the cloak and daggers. I saw that with the militare, them moving in secret. At the periphery of this is Vidovo. Something needs to be put to bed. Bury the hatchet. At the precipice is Gran Consolazione, the grand consolation, which means they could be hoping and wishing and praying, but they're hoping and trying to get rid of these affections or whatever, because they're in the spirit, wanting, hoping, wishing, praying, conjuring up some wounding and yearning from the past. Because we've let that out though. For whatever we've done to go inside and to figure something out, it gave us a discovery and it also blocked their plans. And honestly, what I've been getting this whole time is that they want us to feel some kind of way. They want us to, I don't know, play into whatever performance that they're putting on is what I'm getting. This is going to play out for another 3 months in terms of an agreement, Regione, where they've set themselves up in some kind of weird way. Because now we're finally Lamante and they are La Constanza. They've been some way, their house has been burning down for a while. And they might have acted that way because of what they believe people would say or were saying to them. They got themselves in some hot water. They're stuck in some kind of way with Regione. That means prison. And they've got to bear, oh, I just heard un-F themselves. Oh my. So they dug themselves into, see, that started me. They've dug themselves into a hole, is what that means. What is this? Because it said 3 weeks ago, we wrapped up some kind of lesson, and over the next 3 months, they're going to be attending to something, interceding. Yeah, so we let this go a few months ago, and that's what we always say here. We don't walk away to teach them a lesson. We walk away because we learned our lesson. This happened about 3 weeks ago, where a cycle came to full completion, Three of Cups with the World card. On the precipice of the situation is the malady, the sickness, amalato. Peripherally, I see La diretta, some maturation coming from the stronghold. Because what's risk of being lost is the stronghold, casa morte. There will be a change in. So I feel like they were given a kingdom spouse to us, but they couldn't have, you know, righteous traditions and righteous duties and obligations higher fed. They couldn't go in the spirit and conduct their affairs accordingly. Something here was of free will. There was some type of policy, procedure, protocol, theories, techniques, technologies, means, mechanisms, methodologies. They wanted to do status quo or be conditioned and programmed, but it gave them some healing. And unfortunately, it also gave us an ego death. We've lost a little bit of, because we are detached, we've lost a little bit of something towards this. We don't have it in us to be all gung-ho, ham-hog, and crazy until a revelation happens. This is somebody declares their love or states their intentions or something to that effect. Yeah, until the situation expands, until it feels like we've gone through the fire and made it. Okay, so let's check on that pair of threes. Grant me a moment. So the pair of threes usually means collaboration, cooperation, co-creation. It can mean cliques, covens, and cabals. I do feel their friends around, and then we even have it here with this Queen of Swords, Three of Cups. Usually means somebody is feeling some kind of way because there's a lot of smack talking. And we have it here with our road being blocked. Somebody was contemplating on making an offer to us. Page of Pentacles, and it got blocked because of what people were deciding to say. So Creative New Beginning got blocked and it's being restored. It's being restored. Okay. Oh, okay. And so this pair of knights, a pair of knights usually means conflict. It can mean crossings, comings and goings, or a convergence. First of all, it's mastery of a practical skill. It actually is saying here that we need to throw it down and make a commitment. And it would have changed things for us. But I'm getting this exceptionalism, adultification vibe where we were held accountable for something we weren't made accountable for. There were expectations on us that were never shared with us. And perhaps there was some kind of natural way to act, but the status quo wasn't on our side going with the book Hierophant, it was on their side. So you can't really hold somebody accountable to something you haven't made them accountable for. But they're needing contentment. So they need to feel like they're chosen before they work on this. And it's saying that we need to Seven of Wands, defend our position, stand on some kind of high ground. But remember, with the Seven of Wands, if they're trying to take you down, they're already beneath you. Because it's saying that we should have came through and made a commitment or something like that. And that's actually what they're going to do to us. It's giving me the kind of energy where the girl has to make a move or the girl has to ask for the ring before it actually happens. And there are some people that are like, well, that has to be, and and here's my little opinion. And yeah, okay, I think it's in the communication. Because if a person comes out and does that on their own without you having asked it, they feel called to do that, which means that the signals haven't been crossed, the signals haven't been mixed. And I believe we were feeling something and then we either got cut out because of the friends or the smack talking and the gossip, or our road got closed because of how this person we're connected to was acting. Because it's saying that there was massive distress around the full moon in Pisces. But we're coming out of that. We're actually moving into safe space. And we're coming up on a reconciliation. And it's not one that we were trying to manufacture. We were trying to manufacture letting this go completely. That we have strength, courage, and wisdom already, and we face some kind of fear, Nine of Swords. Our fear was letting go. This other side, whatever is mirroring us, they need to feel triumphant, like they went through some type of fire and it came out tested. But that's not actually what happened. They went out searching for something to figure something out, and things sped up for them. There was a quickening of some kind. Now we have a pair of sixes here, which usually means grand favors, support, gifts, blessings. Six of Cups is receiving anointing. Six of Wands is receiving glory. It can be triumphant victory. It can be some type of reconciliation here with the Six of Cups. And it's the Five of Pentacles, which means forced change, usually of the ideology. Because we have the Six of Swords, which means receiving grace. We've gone through the river Styx. We've made it out of the gates of hell and we're back into paradise. They're confused right now, Seven of Cups, because there's something around them that's bitter, spiteful, Five of Swords. I'm honestly getting the energy that behind our backs there's some smack being talked about us. There's a pair of fives here. That's a decline, a destabilization, degradation, debilitation. Something's falling down to the ground. There needs to be changes made here. Somebody needs to be cut out like a bad cancer. Seven of Cups with the five. Seven of Cups with the Five of Swords means don't choose any of those options. Hold your ground, Seven of Wands, or you will lose out. You'll basically give up your own spot. You trick yourself out of your own spot, Five of Pentacles. We're smooth sailing. Going towards us, Six of Swords, is where there'll be calmer emotional waters. Still waters run deep. So I'm getting that they looked at us, they sensed greatness, but upon closer inspection, they couldn't find anything to justify that greatness they were feeling. But here's the thing, like recognizes like, real recognizes real. They were comparing apple to oranges, and they honestly need to compare to compete. They couldn't at the time. So this is the end of the reading. We went all the way to the devil came out because of Capricorn, and it finally came out. So the sun and the devil usually means aggression. This came up in one of the readings. It was either Aquarius or Libra for the September, October readings. But there was some oppression and dictatorial control here. Something went horribly wrong. We did have to withdraw our energy and go away because we were feeling hunted, we were feeling attacked, we were feeling distress. There could have been a little bit of guilt or shame, but honestly, it's not supported here. It's not well supported here. We actually went out and found our strength because we had to rise up and stand up to fear. Emperor with the strength card. We had to find some self-revelation within ourselves, self-governance, self-mastery, by finding strength, courage, and wisdom, emotional fortitude. While on this other side, something had to be eclipsed out. You see here, because they have the Five of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, which means feeling left out, feeling isolated feeling, exiled, feeling abandoned. So they won this energy that we're connected to. They got the thing that they want. They didn't know that they had our love the whole time. We probably told it to them. And since they had some stinking thinking, Five of Pentacles, they had to turn their situation around. They had to, yeah, because listen, when the devil comes out, it means you looked into the eye of God and decided to rebel or have free will or crash out or got scared. Little known secret, let me tell it to you. The devil actually means fear, ignorance, falsities, or illusion. One of those four triggered them to throw away a blessing. And instead of losing, they're going to get some type of lesson, which is great. Probably because they're Cancer rising, I wouldn't be surprised. With the devil here and the Page of Pentacles, it means that they have their Venus in the 10th house and the 7th house, or they're Cancer rising. Let me check on that. I know Venus is in Virgo right now, so something could have happened when Venus was transiting Cancer. Yeah, because the way that this works out is that they still have the affection of the divine, but they had to cry. They had to go through what they put us through. So instead of getting their walking papers, they just got a recorrection, which is amazing. That means they're chosen as well. Okay, so let's close this out with a Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle card from Amanda Lovelace. Three of Potion, Lighthouse, and Escapist Potion. Remember to practice self-love. Second time we got that here. Self-love. Learning to forgive oneself and others, healing the inner child with shadow work, recognizing the triggers that affected them from moving forward. Self-love. Potion. Remember to practice self-love. We also have Lighthouse here. Don't doubt your worth. And Escapist. Come home to yourself. So it's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to serve. Thank you for allowing me to do so. There's information in the show notes. Go ahead and smash that like button. We'll see you in the next one. Take good care until we meet again, until we meet again. Namaste, Dandava, and Ashe. Sayonara, das vidanya, Avida Zain. Bye-bye.